New Darklord cards are upon us, and I immediately took to the internet to see what they were, and more specifically, to test them. Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode, and on today's episode, I am taking a look at the new Darklord cards that just came out, or they haven't actually come out, they've just been announced. As you can see, we don't even have the actual artworks for them, at least on this game, but new Darklord cards have come out, and they are all really incredible. We're playing all of them, they're all very cool, and I immediately went to testing with them, and I immediately threw the Melodious cards in here with them, and I'll explain in a second. First and foremost, let's talk about them. We have a new normal summon that says, on normal, you special summon a Darklord monster from your deck, and then you are locked into fairies, except itself. And on top of that, if you control a Dark Fairy fusion monster, you can banish this from the grave in order to add a Forbidden Quick Play spell or a Darklord card from your deck or from your grave to your hand, which is again pretty solid. And there's a lot of ways that we can play like the forbidden cards. So I'm also playing Chalice. Probably shouldn't be playing it, but I'm playing it anyway. We're also playing Golgalta, which is a new Darklord level 6 monster that says you can only special summon it once per turn. If special summoned, you generate 2 Darklord level 6 or higher, or level 6 tokens, which is very important for purposes you will see down the line. And then on top of that, if it's sent to the graveyard, this is the important part, if it is sent to the graveyard via any means, you can add a Darklord card or a Forbidden Quick Play spell card from your deck to your hand. Holy crap, this is exactly what Darklords were needing. Just a card that puts specifically cards like Contact and Banishment into your hand, and there are so many ways to get to this guy via so many different methods. Because specifically this guy also allows you to special summon any of your Darklord monsters, you can, in fact, just special summon Golgalta, or you could special summon Indulged, which summons another guy, which is great. On top of that, we also have Darklord Pleasure. Yes, they did in fact name it Darklord Pleasure, because why would it not be? Anyway, which is just a fusion spell. That's it. However, it says fusion summon a Dark Fairy fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing its materials. Yes, banishing from hand, field, and or grave. And if you do, it gains 1,000 attack. If summoning a Darklord monster this way, you can also use Darklord monsters your opponent controls as material. Now, why is this important? Because oftentimes, off of Indulged, you can give your opponent a card, and then from there, you can generate additional advantage, right? Which is pretty solid. So, very, very solid cards. Incredible cards for Darklord. Genuinely very powerful. However, there's one more card that we have, which is Lucifer, Darklord of the Evening Twilight, which requires 2 level 6 or higher Dark Fairy monsters. And if your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Period. End of sentence. Just can't be targeted. Incredible. On top of that, you can use each of the following effects once per turn, which says on summon, you can set a Darklord spell and a Darklord trap from your deck. Incredible access to your engine, which is fantastic. And because it sets a trap, it means you can set Rebellion or Sanctified or whatever you want to set. And you also get access to all of these as well. Incredible. On top of that, it has the same effect text as all of the other big Darklords, like Ixchel, Tez, etc. Which is that it copies a spell trap in grave. Oh, baby! That means even with the set that you get off of the Lucifer, you then can use its effect that you set the trap, you use the effect, and then it goes to grave, and then you can use it again off of the Lucifer effect, which is, again, fantastic. It also means that Droplet is playable in this deck. It's actually good in this deck, and it allows you to break boards in this deck because you can actually send cards to the graveyard and get advantage off of it. Hip hip hooray! You'll love to see it. So, fantastic. Now, why are we playing the Melodious cards? Because all of the Melodious cards, first and foremost, they're all fairies. Fantastic. However, they are light, which is a little worse, but overall, it's fine. Also, we're abiding by the OCG ban list, which is why Herald is at 1. Herald's at 3 in both the OCG, or in the TCG and in Master Duel, so keep that in mind. But alas, Ostinato is a card that does pretty much one card, full Melodious end board, and full, more or less, the Melodious cards, as well as does the full Darklord combo for you. And the way that you accomplish this is pretty simple. You go Ostinato, you send these two to the graveyard, or you send Soprano and Refrain to the graveyard. You search out, or sorry, you summon out the Baka. Baka then allows you to search out the Couplet. Couplet will then reveal itself, special summoning back the Soprano. Soprano will add back a guy, doesn't really matter too much there. And then you can activate the Couplet as well. And then from there, you're just like off to the races, and you generate a ton of advantage off of all of that. And importantly, you can go into things like Dugaris to draw cards. You can go into IP Masquerena. All of this before getting locked into fairies for the rest of the turn with things like the this guy. And then, because you're not done, you can generate enough advantage to put both IP Masquerena and Condemned Darklord, which then Condemned can pitch a card in order to grab up your normal summon, which is, of course, the Hootie, which is very, very useful. And then you can normal summon him, special summon a guy, and you're off to the races on that front as well. Incredible. Let me show you what this deck actually accomplishes in practice. Alright, so let me show you what Ostinato is capable of doing. So we're going to activate the Ostinato, we're going to go into Baka, we're going to send to the graveyard the Soprano and the Refrain. We're going to go into Baka, we're going to activate the effect of the Baka in order to search out, or sorry, special summon from the deck the Refrain. Refrain is going to activate its effect. This is a thing that has happened for quite some time with Melodious. We're going to grab up the Couplet. Couplet effect is going to reveal itself after being searched in order to special summon a monster from grave. We're specifically going to grab Soprano. Soprano is going to activate its effect in order to grab back that additional Refrain. Now, we already have another Refrain in hand, but that's fine. We're going to then activate our Soprano here. Not Soprano, our Couplet. We're going to activate the effect of the Couplet here. We're going to grab Concerto, and then we are going to activate the nothing here. We're actually going to go into Dugaris. We're going to go Dugaris here in order to draw 2, because it's pretty solid. So we're going to draw 2, we're going to detach these 2, and we're going to draw 2 and discard 1, skipping our draw phase on the following turn. We're just going to pitch to the graveyard this guy. That was a mistake on my part, but it's fine for the most part. And then we're going to just activate this effect here. Here we can actually just go into this, and we can go Bloom here, which is actually pretty solid. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3 into Bloom. And now we can activate this, and we can go Chain Link 1. Target the Soprano, and we can go Chain Link 2 for this, and we can go Chain Link 3 for this. Hip hip hooray. So now you're going to put all of these onto the field. Yay, yay. We can also potentially fusion summon here if we wanted to. However, you can only fusion summon monsters using monsters you control as fusion material. So we're not actually going to do that. But this allows us to draw 2, which we were capable of doing, if instead of drawing into our Darklord engine, as we see here, we could have, instead of going into the Etoil, or the Magnificat, right? We could have instead gone for Condemned, right? Condemned can't use the Dugaris, so we're just not going to do that. It's fine. That's really not that big of a deal, because we still get to go into IP. We get to go into the IP Masquerena here, and then we can just activate our effect of our Banishment. Banishment is going to grab it to the hand. Yeah, this guy. The level 4. The Hootie. Hootie is going to be our normal summon. We're going to activate the effect of the Hootie, and we are going to specifically special summon out the level 6 here. The level 6 is going to trigger. We're going to special summon out the 2 tokens here, locking ourselves into Fairy for the rest of the turn, which is pretty solid. But all in all, we're just going to use those 2 in order to go into Condemned. Condemned, pitch a card, add a card. We're going to add, since we already have another Darklord, we could go Eggshell here to draw 2. Or we could go Tez as additional protection. We're going to go, of course, for the Eggshell here, since we already have the additional name. And from here, we can actually activate the Eggshell. We're going to pitch 2. We're going to draw 2. Fantastic. And then we're going to link off into this guy. Awesome, awesome. Then Golgulta is going to trigger. If you don't know, Herald of Mirage Light pitches a fairy in order to negate a spell trap. It's very useful. So there's that. But here we can actually activate grab our fusion spell. We're going to go for the fusion spell. We're going to banish 2 cards here. We're going to banish the Morningstar, and we're going to banish the Eggshell here in order to go into our Lucifer. Lucifer effect is going to activate. We are going to set Contact, and we are going to set the trap. And now we can activate our contact here. And we can reborn a guy. It doesn't really matter here. It's just in target. Oh, Indulged hasn't actually activated. I lied to you. It does matter. We're going to give them the Hootie, and we're going to grab to our hand the Tez. So special summon there, and then add to hand the Tez. And then we also get to fusion summon again if we really wanted to. And we could use our opponent's card as well. So we're going to do that. We're going to go for the fusion summon here. We're going to go El Primero. We're going to target this guy. And we are going to target the level 4 in our grave. And out comes the El Primero. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, this is what ultimately you can accomplish with the new cards. They're kind of crazy. They're very solid. All in all, what they ultimately allow you to do, obviously this is like more of a high roll card, but like, to be fair, this was also more or less a 1-card combo. So yeah, kind of nasty. But yeah, we have the protection, we have whatever hand traps we drew into off of Dugaris, we have the bounce, we have... This is only 1 bounce, to be fair, but it's still fairly solid. Also, notably, the entire field, except for IP, is targetable, or is untargetable. Pretty solid. And then, of course, if we go to the end phase here, we'll also gain a ton of life points. I guess just this one, right? Yeah, so we're now back in the positive very easily. So, Coolio, fantastic. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's one of the cool things that, at the very least, like, I think this is pretty cool. We also do have the ability to use this guy as well. You'd be like, cool, I'm going to search out a guy here. Obviously, it'd be better to actually have the Rebellion, but maybe you're like, oh, I want the protection from Tez, since I already have enough points of interaction. So instead, I'm going to grab up, I don't know, like, Uko back so that I have this guy for, or, you know, I have this for a discard, right? So there you go. Pretty solid. Alright, now I'm going to show you some of the replays that we had against other people playing, just in general, right? So here we're going to start off here with our Hootie. Hootie is going to grab up the Indulged. Indulged is going to grab them their Hootie. And they actually get to trigger it here because we're playing a mirror match, but that's fine. So they're going to trigger a bunch of guys here, which actually does end up helping us out, but it's beside the point. We're going to go for the Eggshell here just to draw 2 because we ended up searching out our level 6, the Golgulka. So now we're going to fusion summon into our Evening Twilight, and we grab the Contact for the level 2, or sorry, for the, sorry, we grabbed our 2 tokens here. Oh, also we were able to Pleasure to take away the 2 tokens that they summoned, which is very funny. But alas, we're going to go for the Eggshell here, and we are going to go then for another fusion for the El Primero into bring back Uko back, just so that we have the guy necessary for the Mirage. So yeah, now we're just like off to the races. We also ended up just having the Droplet. So we have Droplet, Contact, and Rebellion set, and we have the Maxi Ash and the Herald of Orange Light in hand, as well as just a big untargetable field, which is kind of crazy. Now, granted, they do have, you know, a pretty good field for them as well, for them to start. They're going to go for the Called By. I'm going to go for the... Sorry, I go for Ash. They go for Called By. I go to Negate with Herald. They go for Droplet, sending 1, 2, 3. I can't interact, but that's fine. They negate 3 cards. Notably, they don't negate El Primero, which is kind of interesting. But that's fine. Again, we still have our 3 back row here, as well as Ash. And because of the way... because we have both the Rebellion, which sends a Darklord, as well as Droplet to send additional cards. What we can actually do is we can just send our Lucifer here to the graveyard, and then reborn it, and then get an additional trigger off of our Rebellion. So that's like 2 pops right there, which is very nice. Anyway, the opponent's going to send a card. They're going to go then into IP, and we are going to go into our... Or sorry, we pop the IP, and then we immediately reborn, and then they're going to go for the banishment here. We're going to Ash, and at this point the game is over. They're going to attempt to go to combat here. We're just going to pop it as well, and then Called By it, and again, and the game is over. But yeah, again, that's more or less what we can accomplish, even off of just like the 1 normal summon, which is pretty solid. Anyway, this is me just talking about what I'm excited for. I really love Darklord. They've always been like something I've been a fan of, and these cards actually were something that looked like they could actually change the way that Darklord played and make it more playable and more well capable. That's it. All of these cards like do exactly what Darklord kind of needed, except for maybe Lucifer. Like that one's like okay, but like all of the rest of these are super fantastic. But yeah, I've been testing and playing, and it's been a blast. I really enjoy this deck. I think it's very fun. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, like, it's very much appreciated. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye bye.